So the stage has been set for a lot of news flow over the next 2 weeks out of China. Now, what to expect and also what are the highlights that you should know? Let's get to our panel of guests. We've got Professor Liu Baocheng from the University of International Business and Economics, political economist Laurence Brahm, as well as our veteran Two Sessions reporter Guan Xin. Welcome to our show. Great to have you with us. It's a full house. So I'm going to start by asking Guan Xin first. You've been on the ground every year, for the past couple of years. What's different about this year?
From the media's perspective, I would say 2013 is still a transitional year for the country's new leadership. So everything is not clear at that time. So we could only speculate from Premier Li Keqiang's past experiences, his academic background.
A lot of lineup guessing.
Yeah, and also the appointment of key government officials like Central Bank Governor Zhou Xiaochuan and Lou Jiwei as the finance minister to get a clue about the future directions. But now after the third plenum last winter, the roadmap of China's economic reform is quite clear, and the business confidence is also strengthened, and they have high expectations for China's future directions.
Okay, so a lot more policy clarity. People know where the direction is going. Laurence, now, we've already seen about half of the 60-point reform plan. About 30 points have already come out with action plans. So what are you expecting next?
Well, the key points right now is how they're going to address the state sector. For the past 10 years, the state sector has been beefed up at the cost of the private sector. And now, what will the state sector look like? How do you go from a transition from a state-owned enterprise to a corporation that has state ownership of certain assets? And will the private sector play a role in actually being able to buy into these new type of companies? And of course, at the CPPCC talk about the Singapore model, Temasek, these kind of examples are being used as a reference point. On the other side of the spectrum is the ecology. I mean, as the session opens, you can't even see the Great Hall of the People because the pollution's so thick. And a lot of delegates have this on their mind. And that's core to the economy because so much of the economy, again, over the past decade has been driven by fixed asset investment in polluting industries in cement and steel. And now you can still have fixed asset investment, but it can be in grid conversion from fossil fuels to renewables. And of course, there's a huge opening for the private sector in looking at renewable energy, efficient energy systems, and of course the financial instruments that are needed to make all that happen.
Right. Professor Liu, your thoughts?
I think it's really how to implement the decision on the decisive role of the market, because we used to entertain the fundamental role of the market. Now it's a decisive role, and how decisive can that be? So for that, as Laurence pointed out, so in order to unleash the decisive power of the market, we need really to scrutinize what is necessary and what is unnecessary on behalf of the both central government and local government, together with the government-owned enterprises. And in the meantime, the recent survey also revealed that people would expect the social welfare belt is
the number one
on the list. How to integrate and provide the same leveling field for people from rural areas and urban areas, and anti-corruption. So they are going to see, expect to see more steadfast drive instead of a campaign, so that we really can have a clean and more transparent government. And food safety is now also placed
really
on the top
up
agenda,
the rankings, right?
Yeah, as the third top concern. So basically, they are really the basic needs of the people. Safety, fairness, and security. So, and of course, we also would expect, as a professor, substantial the education reform, and of course the social welfare and the healthcare service reform.
Yeah.
Yes, financial reform will be there, but we are going to see. We have already seen the gestures taken at the Chinese free trade zones, and it's more how to really shape China into a better civil society, so where people can be placed at the center.
Got it. Okay, we'll continue the discussion in just a little bit.